Mason, and I'm the Executive Director of the Colorado Snowsports Museum and Hall of Fame. And wow, it is an honor to be outside of the walls of Vail and in this incredible, look at this space that you guys have built is amazing. I feel like that Steamboat is breeding Olympians. What's in your water up here? This is a lot. This is pretty historic and pretty incredible to be in this space. You actually can feel the history. How fun to be at Howelson Hill, the oldest operating ski resort in North America. As the Executive Director of the Colorado Snowsports Museum, that in and itself is pretty special just to be in this room. So we're so grateful to be here. Steamboat has opened their arms to us. It's been a really fun experience. I would like to thank the Tread of Pioneers Museum for partnering with us on this event tonight. So that's been really fun. Candice and her team are just incredible. So that's been a great thing. And then obviously also the Steamboat Resort, the ski company has also been very generous to us and very helpful in making this event happen tonight. So we're really grateful to everyone who made it all happen, and then of course you for showing up. Otherwise we wouldn't be here. This is what makes it so fun. We, as the Colorado Snowsports Museum, we have a couple Hall of Fame members that are in our Hall of Fame. It's not easy to get into our Hall of Fame. So Moose Barrows is here. Obviously Billy Kidd is also in our Hall of Fame, which is why we're all here tonight. Yay, Billy Kidd. And then we also have Nelson Carmichael, I heard, like I said. Nelson Carmichael. So very excited to meet Nelson. And then we also have CJ Mueller, who was one time the fastest man on earth on skis. It's pretty incredible. And then we also have Chris Anthony, who is in our Hall of Fame and a Colorado Snowsports Museum board member. All right. So thank you, Chris. Chris is doing a lot for the sport of skiing, with his youth programs, and also he's doing a ton for the 10th Mountain Division. So this is just an incredible night, and we're just so grateful to be here. And Billy always says he didn't do this alone, so we are also celebrating Jimmie Heuga tonight, along with Billy Kidd together. And so it's pretty incredible. And I'm sure that you guys all know what it is, but in 1964, Billy and Jimmie won the very first Alpine medals in men's Olympic skiing, Alpine skiing, which is incredible. It was 60 years ago on February 8th. So that's why it's kind of what the Olympics was for all of us. This is kind of how it all started. And for those of you who have been to the Colorado Snowsports Museum, hopefully you will, we have this incredible exhibit, and it's all digital and touchscreen, and people walk in and they always want to know, where's Billy? I want to learn about Billy Kidd. Well, if you were inducted into the Colorado Snowsports Hall of Fame, 1996 and on, you have a video. So Billy, unfortunately, does not have a video. So I really wanted to make a video, so we went back in time, and we have recreated Billy's Hall of Fame video. And that is how this all started, because I wanted to premiere his video, and we premiered it in Vail on the 60 years to the date of him winning his Olympic. So that's how this all started. It was this incredible night, and then I asked Billy, he said, will you please come to Steamboat? And I said, absolutely, I'm so excited. So we picked a date, and here we are, at the oldest operating ski resort in North America. Like, this is incredible. So I'm so excited to be here. So Billy and Greg, thank you, but thank you all. So I am not going to be your MC for the night because it's not as fun to listen to me. So tonight we have a very special guest with us. He is an Emmy award-winning storyteller, a journalist, an opinion columnist, network TV commentator, poet, and author. For more than 25 years, he's traveled globally for NBC and CBS, reporting on world sports, including 7 Olympic Games. From Aspen, and a dear friend to Billy and Jimmie, is Greg Lewis.
This is a special evening for many reasons, and for me it's special. I haven't been in this building since I was 17, which was 12 years ago, 60 years ago. And I raced in the Winter Carnival. I use the race word a little bit generously. I competed in the Winter Carnival from the time I was 11 through 17. So Steamboat, before Mount Warner. And so I made many runs on Howelson Hill and enjoyed every moment of it. It is such a pleasure to be in this wonderful town of Steamboat, in this building. It is incredible to me that as I look at these flags, this is a hallowed hall, and that you have had 100 athletes from this little town go to the Olympic Games is extraordinary, and I think you should all give yourselves a round of applause. You are the foundation of this great ski town and great community. Also, this is the hallowed land of Buddy Werner and Moose Barrows, I'm going to say something about in a moment. But I got the opportunity to ski behind Buddy. He invited some junior racers at Winter Park one day to ski, and I can remember every single turn. It was the most thrilling descent of my youth. And I remember where I was when he tragically passed as well. So I am thrilled to be here in this place that he established a tradition and set the standard of excellence that all these other Steamboat athletes have followed. So, a quick word about Moose. I used to try to race against Moose too, and I remember one time in Winter Park, he showed up and stood outside the start house, and he had metalhead skis with P-Tex bottoms. No one had ever seen that before. And I looked at my old Kessleys and I thought, there is no reason for me to even get in the starting gate. And I was correct. When I raced downhill, my knees trembled. When Moose raced downhill, the mountain trembled. So it's great to see him. Also, when we speak about speed, C.J. Mueller is over under the window. And I don't know if you remember the Albertville Olympics at Les Arcs. He was one of the speed skiing competitors, and he only did a kind of an anemic 137 miles an hour on skis. Once earlier in his career, he set the world record, and a journalist ran out and said, I can't fathom this, the risk. How do you deal with the risk? And she looked at him and his answer was, risk? No, I have friends who are married. It is one of the greatest lines I've ever heard. So we begin this evening celebrating something that happened 60 years ago on February 6th. And Jimmie Heuga and Billy Kidd did what was the impossible, or considered impossible by the rest of the world. I'm going to tell one more quick story. Mark McCormick, some of you may know that name, was the super manager, started International Management Group. Arnold Palmer was a client, and many other famous athletes. When he started the firm, he wanted to have Jean-Claude Keely be in his family of stable of athletes. So he went to Europe, and it was a World Cup weekend, and he took Jean-Claude to lunch. And during lunch, Jean-Claude had a glass of wine, and it made Mark McCormick very uncomfortable. So he said, Jean-Claude, I know you're the greatest skier right now, and I want to represent you, and I want you to do well this weekend. But it troubles me that on a competitive weekend you're drinking wine. And Jean-Claude responded, you know, Mark, would you rather I drank milk and ski like an American? He forgot about Billy Kid and Jimmie Heuga. So the wine was working. Let us start with a video about Jimmie Heuga. I'm sure all of you know him. I had the privilege of being involved as MC at several of his major fundraising events, and he was such a gentleman. I first saw him ski when I was 17 at St. Mary's Glacier, and first saw Billy ski there too. And then I watched Jimmie after the 68 games, when he found out he had MS and slowly declined. And when we had that event, he first come on the stage, walk on, and then he came on with a cane, and then he came on with crutches, and then he came on in a wheelchair, and he talked about it's not what happens to you, it's what you do with what happens to you. And he was exemplary of courage and leadership. And let's roll our video tribute to Jimmie Heuga.
As a 17-year-old. He was small, but he was something.
Heuga and Billy Kid were the first Americans to win medals in men's alpine skiing.
It was the year that he was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis.
What's MS? You know, people hadn't heard about MS in those days. You couldn't even pronounce it. But the way we handled it. Jimmie Heuga is not a guy that gives up. We can sit here, we can complain about our circumstances, but in the end, we're going to have to get on with our life. He took MS and just drove right through it. No two people with MS are alike. Nothing like a little rookie. So I decided to make a change, and so he went against the doctor's advice and started exercising.
In 1996, a scientific study concluded that Heuga was right all along. Exercise is beneficial to people with MS.
And the way to change MS.
It's given me the justification and the encouragement and the can-do spirit. It really doesn't matter what hand you're dealt. It matters what you do with that hand.
Extraordinary and inspirational bravery. I know that Billy will talk about it a little more. There's a couple of guys who couldn't be here, one on the East Coast, Doug Lewis, and the other in Europe, Mark Girardelli, who both are, well, Mark Girardelli won World Championship gold and Olympic gold and World Cup titles, and Doug Lewis won the bronze medal, as they're called, Bormio, downhill, and is a commentator now, and you may have seen him on television. But they have a couple of welcoming words that they would like to say to Billy before we show his video.
Hey everyone, hey Billy! I'm honored to share a few words about you. My first memory of you was when you skied to the Olympic silver medal in 1964. I was just 3 weeks old. But seriously, you were one of my heroes who motivated me to push my limits as a downhiller against the Austrians, Swiss, and Norwegians. If this cool dude with the coolest helmet around could take down the arrows, then another kid from Vermont like me could do it too. And later in my career, you interviewed me a number of times and I fed off your energy. You always seemed excited for me and the whole team. It just always felt like you were on our side. Lastly, the way you created your identity after your racing career paved the way for so many of us. I am who I am in part because of you. The fact that so many of us retired ski racers make a living skiing is because of you. Thank you for paving the way. Your kindness, energy, and passion for the sport is unmatched. Congratulations, and I can't wait to ski with you again soon at Steamboat on some of that champagne powder. And I got my Savon t-shirt on to honor your 1970 gold.
Hi, Jimmie. I hope you can celebrate your 60th anniversary of the medal, the first U.S. medal in a very good round of friends. Wendy Lauren told me about your anniversary. I didn't have it anymore in mind. I always wish to have the same cowboy hat that you had, and one time to ski together again, and then I'm gonna organize myself a hat as well, and we're gonna be like brothers on slopes. All the best, and see you soon. Bye-bye.
I think I'm going to shave my head. I'll ski faster. By the way, Doug Lewis is now a spokesman for Adderall. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at the video that honors and retells the career and the amazing achievements in life of William Winston Kidd.
At a place called Steamboat, Colorado, you will meet a man of faith and great respect. He has won a gold medal in skiing for the United States. They call him Captain America. His name is Billy Kidd. This is his world of grace and movement, and the excitement of doing what only a few would better.
America's first ski racing world champion, Billy Kidd, has a Wild West name and international fame. He is Steamboat Resort's beloved ambassador and a worldwide icon for ski sport, which he deeply loves and has profoundly enriched. He's also as warm and approachable as your best friend.
Billy was a visionary who was big-hearted, and he was always giving back.
100% authentically himself. There's absolutely no faking or posturing, and again, people think that he's naturally extroverted, he loves talking about himself. He doesn't. He's a Vermonter.
Born in Burlington, Vermont, William Winston Kidd grew up in the 1950s in Stowe, where his family ran the Buccaneer Motel. With encouragement and coaching from his father, along with support from his hometown, Billy Kidd became a top junior racer with the Mount Mansfield ski team, and then ascended to the U.S. ski team in 1962.
Billy grew up in Stowe, Vermont, which is called the Slow Star IC. But I think that was great to set him up for international competition. Racers, the harder the better, the icier the better.
He'll tell you himself that he wasn't the most physically talented skier, though he was obviously more talented than his friends in Stowe. He's the top skier there. But he was much more analytical.
Kidd quickly made a name for himself. At the age of 18, he raced in 8th place in the slalom and 15th place in the giant slalom at the 1962 World Championships in Chamonix, France. The following winter, disappointment eclipsed success, but hardened resolve as Kidd endured a season hampered by injuries. He entered the 1964 campaign and Olympic year with high hopes and gritty determination.
My experience with Billy is that he was always thinking ahead about how he get a little bit, just another tenth of a second out of the race course by fooling with his boots or doing a better job waxing his skis. He was always looking for a little tiny advantage.
Throughout the history of the U.S. ski team, racers were pretty excited to make the team, and they thought that was the culmination of their career. I made the U.S. ski team. But for Billy, he wasn't satisfied just to be a U.S. ski team member. He wanted to be a world champion and an Olympic champion.
My concentration is pretty good when I'm walking out the door. Yeah, not very conversant. I can memorize the position of 120 poles. Not only the absolute position, but relative distances between poles. Not just that there are 4 open gates here, but that there are 3 open gates, there's a hairpin here that's a little offset, and so forth. I can memorize terrain changes, whether it's steep, whether it's flat, whether it's small, whatever. I have enough confidence to know that the way I figure out how to take a course is the best way.
At the 1964 Winter Games in Innsbruck, Austria, 20-year-old Billy Kidd raced down and rose up, becoming the first American man to win an Olympic Alpine skiing medal. Silver in slalom. While his good friend and teammate Jimmie Heuga captured the bronze. Kidd and Heuga raced into history and legend. In addition to his slalom heroics, Kidd skied to 7th in the giant slalom and 16th in the downhill in Innsbruck. His formidable finishes in all 3 races, unprecedented by an American, earned him an FIS bronze medal.
We were all at the Steamboat Springs with our carnival. A guy who was an Olympian from the Steamboat named Martin Crawford. He was announcing the downhill and the slalom, and he stopped everything and he says, just all of you know that Billy Kidd won a silver medal and Jimmie Heuga won the bronze medal in the Olympics this morning in Innsbruck. And, you know, there was a big trainload of people, and it was a big deal that happened at Steamboat that morning.
It was a quantum leap for the American ski team, and it really validated Bobbietti's program.
In 1966, Billy Kidd won a trio of important races in Europe and was outpacing France's legendary Jean-Claude Keely. Then, injury struck the American superstar. The first injury almost ended his career, an ankle sprain in January that required a tendon operation. Later that same season, he broke his right tibia in 2 places during downhill training at the World Championships held in August 1966 in Portillo, Chile. That disabling injury also kept him out of the inaugural World Cup season in 1967. During his time off skis, Kidd returned to school at the University of Colorado in Boulder. Then, the following winter, he scored his first World Cup victory, a slalom win in the 1968 Roche Cup in Aspen. And in 1969, he claimed another World Cup slalom triumph in Squaw Valley, California.
Billy broke his leg, of course, before the first World Cup season, which he missed. And I think that that's one of the reasons that Jean-Claude Keely dominated the sport that winter, because he didn't have Billy in opposition.
Ski racers in the day in the 60s and 70s certainly suffered from a lot of injuries, and how you reacted to that injury was a defining moment in your career. Some people put their tail between the legs and walked off. Billy Kidd had his share of injuries, broken legs, twisted knees, twisted ankles, but it made him stronger. He came back time and time again.
But he didn't lose his legs very much until he showed up with the Roche Cup. And then he got a shock this off. You know, Billy's deal was he didn't train a lot, he just fought a lot. And he fought his way back into shape to win the back there at the Roche Cup.
In 1970, Kidd accomplished a feat never to be repeated. He won the gold medal in combined and the bronze in slalom at the World Championships in Val Gardena, Italy. The first American skier to win a World Championships title.
I always promised my mom I'd bring home a gold medal, he said. Following closing ceremonies of the FIS World Championships, Kidd retired from the U.S. ski team and the World Cup Tour. He immediately joined the new pro circuit started by his former U.S. ski team coach and University of Colorado coach, Bob Beatty. Kidd will soon claim another crown, the 1970 Pro Championships, becoming the only racer to hold world titles on the two circuits at the same time.
The Pro Tour format differs from the World Cup format. The courses are shorter, the turns are not as complicated. It's left, right, left, and the fastest guy down the hill wins. Ski racers have been able to seal their legacy from the amateurs to the pros. There have only been a few racers that have been great at both. Billy Kidd is one of them.
But 2 years later, nagging injuries sidelined him for most of the pro season. In the fall of 1972, at age 29, Billy Kidd retired, ending a racing career of historic distinction. Kidd moved to Steamboat Springs in 1970. In his role as director of skiing for the Steamboat Ski and Resort Corporation, he has become a living icon, not just for Steamboat, but for American skiing as well. The winter of 2024 will mark his 54th year on the job. His enthusiasm never wanes. What's most important to me, he says, is something I learned from my most important mentor, Sepp Rusch. That's passing it forward, sharing the joy of skiing with everyone.
So it has been a joy watching Billy on his 1 o'clock Steamboat Resort run, working with Heuga. Sometimes 12 people show up, sometimes 200 people have shown up. And what he gives is joy. He spreads the joy about skiing.
He was able to impact people beyond the slopes. I think those that partook in a day on the slopes with Billy Kidd, I've had friends that have skied with him, have admired him from afar, and to this day, they do nothing but appreciate and brag about the fact that we got to ski with Billy Kidd.
Billy Kidd is a champion's champion and a people's champion. Steamboat, the Rocky Mountain West, and the sport of skiing could not find a finer ambassador. For more than a half-century, skiers and snowboarders of all ages and abilities have joined him for a free on-mountain clinic and a chance to touch greatness. From Stowe to stardom, from Steamboat to Stetson, from stature to statue, the man in the cowboy hat and his achievements are known worldwide. Billy Kidd is pure gold, forever celebrated in bronze at the base of Steamboat's slopes.
You don't make it to the top of ski racing or the sport and business of skiing. With ski racing, you need the help and support. Then when you get into the business of skiing, you find out that people are so nice, they're really fun to talk to. I've spent my life traveling around the world, and I love going to Atlanta, Georgia, or Dallas, Texas, because the biggest ski clubs in America are in the South. Then I go to London or to Tokyo or to Sydney, Australia, and this hat kind of represents America, and I can invite them to one of the greatest places in America, Colorado. What you'll find is that you love the weather, the people, everything about Colorado. And so I am so proud to be from Vermont and Colorado.
Ladies and gentlemen, your ambassador, your hero, my hero, Billy Kidd.
of you future Olympians. Wouldn't you like to have your own flag up here in this room? This is such an incredible place to have a gathering like this and talk about the Olympics and reminisce a little bit and plan your futures. And so, Greg, I was happy to find that you were doing your Olympic training just a few short decades ago, and you're still on your way to the Olympics, right? Yeah. I found out about Steamboat from my hero, Buddy Warner, and also my teammate, Moose Barrows. And it just sounded like such an incredible place, an old cowboy ranching town with a mountain and a history of producing Olympic champions, or at least athletes. It's so hard to get to the champion part at the Olympics, but just dreaming about going to the Olympics and being able to come back from the Olympics with a nice jacket with rings on it is pretty satisfying. But with Nelson Carmichael, who you just met earlier, Nelson was in a sport called freestyle moguls. And when I watched him in the Olympics, I thought he deserved the gold. And I was a pretty good coach, I knew technique. But when you've got a sport and an event that has judges, maybe those judges thought you didn't have enough sequins on your outfit, Nelson. And that's why they gave you the bronze medal instead of the gold. But in ski racing, it's timed very accurately to the 100th of a second. And when you saw this film and saw Jimmie and I skiing, you probably thought, come on, those guys are skiing in slow motion. Because it looks like slow motion. What was it like in 1964 at those Olympics? Wooden skis. The last year we had wooden skis and leather boots in the Olympics. Our skis were 207s for slalom. Those were our short skis. But the way that I learned how to make my turns was by watching Buddy Warner. We were at University of Colorado together. And I used to watch film of Buddy, frame by frame, hour after hour, to find out how he made those turns. And some of you may know photography and know when they first came out with motor drives for cameras, that you could hold the button down and it would take, 3 or 4 shots in a second and a half. Well, I had a sequence of Buddy making 3 turns in a sequence from a Nikon with motor drive. And he made 1 turn, and then he made another turn, and another turn in a second and a half. So when I looked at that over and over again, what I saw was that Buddy did not turn his shoulders. Nelson Carmichael in the moguls does not have time to turn his shoulders. He's making 2 or 3 turns every second. All you have time to do is with your hands out for balance, plant your pole with just a flick of your wrist, and then turn your feet, but not your shoulders. It's too slow to turn your shoulders. So that's what I learned from Buddy Warner, and then tried to put that to use at the Olympics. So we had wooden skis, we had leather boots that were more like hiking boots, we had bindings that you didn't want your ski to fall off at 60 or 80 miles an hour, so you cranked down the bindings so there was no release factor. The release factor in the bindings was when the screws pulled out of the ski. Ouch! But if you want to see the skis that I used in the Olympics in 1964, they're in the U.S. Olympic Museum in Colorado Springs, because it's so unusual that that was the last year that we had wooden skis, leather boots, and no release bindings. By 2 years later, in the World Championships, we had fiberglass skis, plastic boots, release bindings, and the sport changed dramatically. I like it better now. But some of you, when you see these old skis or you see them up above the fireplace, you wonder, well, how did Buddy Warner ever become the best skier in the whole world? Well, you probably thought it was because he was skiing on that mountain. It's called Mount Warner now, because when he died right after the '64 Olympics, they changed the name of the mountain from Storm Peak to Mount Warner. And Buddy was just an incredible hero to anybody that skied in the world. He was like a rock star in Europe. It was like Mick Jagger walking down the streets of Paris or London or, you know, ski areas. But Buddy Warner was a national, international hero. And if you were a ski racer, you knew what a big superstar Buddy Warner was. And I was lucky enough to make the U.S. ski team my last year in high school. Jimmie, Heuga, Billy Merle, and I were 18 years old, and we made the U.S. ski team to go to the World Championships in Chamonix, 1962. That got us ready for '64 for the Olympics. So what was it like in Innsbruck? Has anybody been to Innsbruck? It's one of the great places to ski on the planet. It's a city surrounded by great ski areas. And in Austria, skiing is the #1 sport, and it is just a great place to go. But when we got to the Olympics in Innsbruck, there was no snow. And so the Austrian army went out with trucks, hundreds of trucks, filled them up with snow from the adjoining valleys, brought them back to the racing venues, and mixed it with water and packed it down, and it made ice. Well, you know, if you're a ski racer, you love ice. That's what you want. Because if you have soft snow like this out here, if you have number 100, you don't have a very good chance of winning. You've got ruts and holes around the gates. So in all the big races like Olympics and World Championships and Kitzbühel and Wengen and the biggest races in the world, they spray water on the courses for weeks before the race. They actually inject water into the snow. So it's not just surface ice, it's just like a skating rink. Well, you probably think I'm exaggerating, but when I was doing television commentary at the Olympics, trying to follow in Greg's footsteps or ski tracks, I was at the Olympics in 1992, Albertville. And the night before the slalom, we had a production meeting, and they go around the room and they say, "Oh, Hollis, you're in charge of the lunches for tomorrow. Are they all ready? Okay, good. Yeah, and Frank, you're in charge of the cameras. How are the cameras? Ready? Okay." And they asked me, "Well, kid, how are the courses?" And I said, "They're perfect. They're just like a skating rink. You could go down on ice skates." Everybody laughed. "Oh, sure." And I said, "Well, get me ice skates and I'll do my opening tomorrow on ice skates." Because I knew the IOC is not going to let me go down on ice skates to show how icy it is. But I got there in the morning to do my opening. They had ice skates. I had to do it. I put on the ice skates. Oh. Is this out of...
out of juice?
Might be out of juice.
You can carry.
Okay. What?
Everybody here can hear you.
Oh, great. Will you translate for me? Yes. Okay. So, in any case, I I had not prepared for doing my opening on ice skates. I just said that thinking, oh yeah, if I say that, they'll understand how icy it is. Put on the ice skates. I told the cameraman, frame in from my knees to my hat. Hi, I'm Billy Kidd. The Olympic slalom is about to start. The courses are well prepared, which means it's icy. When I said icy, I wanted the cameraman to frame out, show I'm standing there in the middle of the slalom course, 10 minutes before the race started, on hockey skates. I pushed off and I went down through the course on hockey skates. Because I know that on television is visual. They don't listen to the commentators, except Greg. You want to listen to every word when he's talking. But I thought, who am I talking to that's watching the Olympics? There are a lot of Americans who, they don't ski, they don't know anything about skiing, they're not sports fans. But I thought maybe some lady in Alabama says to her husband, hey Fred, look at this crazy guy in a cowboy hat going down the race course on hockey skates. It must be icy. I still have people coming up and say, I remember, kid, when you said it was icy and you showed us how icy it was by going down. That's the dream for ski races. That's the reason that Michaela Schifrin left Vail, where her parents were ski instructors, and she went back to school in Vermont. That's where I grew up. I loved it when it was raining one day in January. The next day would be 20 below zero. All the hills were ready to hold the Olympics. It was perfect ice. So in any case, that's what it's like in the Olympics. But there's another part of being in the Olympics. Beyond technique, you want technique like Michaela Schifrin's got, like Nelson Carmichael has, where you can make turns, and hopefully you can make turns one after another, 78 of them without a stop, and that's your first run. Hopefully you can do that again in the second run. But they don't give out medals just because you're the fastest in the world for most of the course. You have to make all the gates to get the medals. And so that is really difficult. Once you learn how to turn well, now can you do it every run without a mistake? If you make a mistake, like another hero of mine besides Buddy Warner, have any of you heard of Andrea Meade Lawrence? Andrea Meade Lawrence was a hero of mine. She's from Vermont. 1952 Olympics, Oslo. She wins 2 gold medals. When she was going down the slalom on her way to the second gold medal. Oh, great, all right.
Thank you, baby.
Thank you very much. Now, Andrea Meade Lawrence, in that second run, on her way to the second gold medal, caught a tip, spun around, slid down, climbed back up, went through the gate, and still won the gold medal in slalom. She was absolutely amazing. She was from just down the road where I grew up in Stowe. She was from Rutland, Vermont. And she was the fiercest competitor I ever saw. Teeth gritted. She had her hair in pigtails. They were always straight out behind her. She was going so fast. But she would never give up. Another hero of mine in the Olympics was my teammate, Jimmie Heuga. Now, Jimmie Heuga was from California, Lake Tahoe. I was from Vermont. I'd heard about this kid. He was the best junior racer in America. Same age as me and Billy Earl. And so we were in the Olympics together, 1964. After the first run of slalom, Jimmie was third. Slalom is 2 runs. The second run, you saw him come down. He is dancing down the hill, making it look so easy, like Michaela Schiffer does today. But he was a little bit too cautious, and he didn't end up winning the gold like Buddy and I and Bob Beatty and all of us thought that Jimmie was going to win the gold. I know that he was disappointed, but silver and bronze aren't too bad. And to give you an idea of what Jimmie was like, after the prize giving, we went back to the Olympic Village, and Jimmie was agonizing over seeing his roommate, Buddy Warner. And what was he going to say when Jimmie came back with a bronze medal and Buddy, in his last Olympics, didn't get a medal? Even though Buddy was on the cover of Sports Illustrated. This is Sports Illustrated Olympic issue 1964 for the Innsbruck Olympics. Now, who's that skier right there? Well, it could be me. No. It could be Brad Pitt, looks like. No. This is Buddy Warner. Of all the athletes at the Olympics in Innsbruck, Sports Illustrated thought that Buddy Warner had the best chance and the best story to win gold medals. So it was really disappointing for him. But Jimmie went back to the room and wanted to give his bronze medal to Buddy. Jimmie was like that. He was such a gracious, generous person. He was amazing. I remember the good stuff about Jimmie. When he got MS, I think Greg said, well, people didn't know about MS in 1968 when he got the first symptoms of MS. I never heard Jimmie complain about having MS. He said, do the best you can with what you have. Everybody's got challenges. But Jimmie always did the best that he could with what he had. And he set an example for all of us here today in America, around the world, because he literally changed the way the medical community thought about and treated MS. And he started exercising, and he set the example. But the main thing he set was his attitude. It was so positive. He was just an absolutely amazing, amazing athlete and person. And speaking of people named Jimmie, my grandson Jimmie is here. Jimmie, where are you here? Jimmie, where's Jimmie? Okay, in any case, he was here. He's probably night skiing now, because he came up from Denver, got a job in the ticket office, and now he's hooked on Steamboat and on skiing. So you might see him next in, does anybody know where the next Winter Olympics are? Italy, right. And do you know where the best pasta in all of Italy is? Cortina, that's right. Do you know where the best pasta in all of Cortina is? You're right, at the finish line of the races. That'll get you down in a hurry, because it's going to be a great Olympics. Moose and I have raced in Cortina. Buddy Warner showed us how to race in Cortina because he almost won the gold medal in downhill at the 1956 Olympics in Cortina. In any case, ski racing is so much fun. It is so satisfying. It opens so many doors. And I am just so grateful to have Greg here to translate what I just said.
It is a big night for Billy. He gets paid by the word. But I want you to tell a story about how disciplined you were and how you were going on a press tour to New York, and how you prepared for that and how that went. You know what I'm referring to?
No. I was in New York a number of times.
When you made a little excursion and you went to a place that has palm trees.
Well, that brings back a memory. I think it was Jimmie Heuga's fault. What happened was Bob Beatty, the coach, had Pontiac as a sponsor in the summertime when we were training on St. Mary's Glacier. Jimmie and I were working construction at Lake Tahoe, and Beatty said, "Come on back here, we got to do some filming for Pontiac." So we left Lake Tahoe and flew down to San Francisco to fly back to Denver. It was Denver, not New York. But since we were headed in that direction, and Jimmie was telling me about his new American Express card that his dad had, and how you could buy anything. I bet you can't buy 2 tickets from San Francisco to Hawaii. Jimmie's, oh yeah, watch me. So we ended up in Hawaii. We had to test out that American Express card. Beatty was not too happy, but we finally got back and did some enough promotion so that Pontiac stayed as a sponsor. Is that what you're talking about?
That's the story.
Okay.
Did you bring your medals?
Let me see.
The reason I ask is
this one of them?
Yeah.
Do you know that? Yes, that's the silver medal from the Sol in '64. And you got one that's a different color too. Did you bring that one?
Well, let me see. All right.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the FIS medal for the combined World Championship. I decided that I wanted to bring my medal from the only ski race I won.
Oh, good.
And it's, will you help me with this? It's a very big trophy.
Oh, yeah.
Here it is.
Oh, that's so heavy.
Would you read that, what it says on there?
I can't.
Can you see it?
I can't read it. You better read it. You've probably memorized it. If you
I keep it in my pocket. And it's awkward sometimes. It says, first place, Polar Bear Ski Club meet, 1959. The sad part about it was I raced for another 15 years and I never got it. Does anybody have any questions for Mr. Kidd? You've taught them everything. They must have been skiing. Yes.
Billy, what puts a smile on your face these days?
Aww. Repeat the question.
There's an answer sitting in the front row.
Right?
Yes. Well, I think you saw Hollis.
Yeah, I know how.
Yes. My girlfriend Hollis puts a smile on my face for the last 33 years. And I'm so happy to see you here. I'm happy that you brought your friends, Diane and Cookie, and so many friends. I'll tell you, this is such a treat for me to see so many people from our past lives and all in one place with a lot of future Olympians. I just have to say one thing now. This medal, this silver medal from Innsbruck, 1964, I missed the gold by 1400ths of a second. Blink your eye. That's 1400ths. I spent the next 6 years trying to make up 1400ths of a second. So 1 year in the World Championships, I was even closer. 600ths of a second, half the time it takes to blink your eye, and I won a bronze medal. But when I finally won the gold medal in 1970 at the World Championships that Greg was talking about, I appreciated the difference between a bronze and a silver and a gold. And I was so happy that I had a sport that was timed accurately to the 100th of a second. And I was so happy that I had Buddy Warner as my hero. And for all of you now, I think that you might think about going to the Olympics, because all you have to do to get to the Olympics when you come to Steamboat is drink the water, breathe the air, and you are on your way to the Olympics. Thank you very much. It's such a pleasure to see all of you. Thank you.
Thank you for.
I'm glad you listened to it.
We're not quite finished. But your line about breathing the air and becoming an Olympian makes me think of one time I was assigned to cover the World Lumberjack competition, and they have log rolling, and the guy who won had won 5 years in a row, and I tried it. I stood up for about 1/10 of a second. So I asked him, what is the secret to winning this championship over and over again? And he said, all you gotta do is keep your fans dry.
Simple.
You know, that's about as simple as your explanation of breathing the air. And I breathed a lot of air, and I couldn't ski with you for anything in the world. We'd like to bring up Dave Hunter of Steamboat. I know you have a few words you'd like to say, Dave. Thank you.
Wow. My name is Dave Hunter. I'm the resort lead for Steamboat Ski Area, and so much inspiration in this room, and that embodies, it's part of the fabric of Billy Kidd. I've been in Steamboat for only about 7 years, and Billy's office used to be right next door to mine, so I got to spend a lot of time with him. And I've never met anyone in my 34 years of being in the ski industry that has as much passion and impact on the sport of skiing in Olympic history than Billy Kidd. Billy, congratulations on an amazing milestone as we celebrate your 60th year for winning your medal and 54 years as the director of skiing in Steamboat. Congratulations. You're not just a legend on the slopes, but you're a true friend and a true gentleman, and your 1 o'clock run is just a pure testament to your impact on our mountain day in and day out. And thank you for that.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you.
We're honored to have you as a friend and a fellow champagne powder snow researcher.
Yes.
And you do a great job at that. And he's out there every day testing the product, and the passion this night. And Billy Kidd, congratulations, Billy. Thank you. I don't want
Thank you, Dave. That was a very nice tribute to Mr. Kidd. You work here?
Sometimes. Part-time.
No, that was nice.
Oh, nice.
Also would like to bring up the Executive Director of TRED, Pioneers Museum, Candice Bannister. Candice?
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me. Thanks so much to the Colorado Snowsports Museum and to Jen for this wonderful evening. Tonight, we pay tribute to Billy Kidd and his lifetime of contributions to the sport of skiing, to the state of Colorado, to the community of Steamboat Springs, and the Steamboat Resort. Since becoming the first American male Alpine racer to win an Olympic medal in 1964, through today, Billy Kidd has become widely known as not only an athlete, but an icon and an inspiration to many. Steamboat Springs is home to so many distinguished athletes and Olympians, so the bar is set high here. But Billy's dedication and commitment to our town and its skiing heritage sets him apart from the rest. So tonight, the TRED of Pioneers Museum joins the Colorado Snowsports Museum to recognize all of Billy's contributions. We have invited all of our community tonight, the Steamboat Ski Resort representatives, and snow sports enthusiasts and friends of Billy's from around Colorado to come together and say thank you to Billy Kidd. It is my great honor to present Billy with a Lifetime Achievement Award and celebrating 60 years since his historic Olympic medal and 60 years of dedication to the sport of skiing. Thank you, Billy.
Thank you, Candice.
All right.
Okay, I'm coming up.
Where's our, on three now, say skiing. 1, 2, 3, skiing!
Cutest. All right, we got it.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. All right.
Yeah.
Well, wow. Billy, again, we just, from the Colorado Snowsports Museum, we just can't thank you enough for your impact that you've made on the entire state of Colorado. And we are so happy that we have a Hall of Fame video for you now. I want to give a big round of applause to Eve Productions, who has created these videos for us for 25 years. Megan and his team have done incredible. They've made all of these videos, and yours is kind of the icing on the cake right now. And I want to thank Greg for coming all the way over from F. Yeah, thank you. And I believe we have one more, the Finney family. Do you want to, I'd like to get Candice back up here. And we have another special treat that Billy probably doesn't know about. And where is Mike Finney? Is he still in the house? Here he is. So if Billy even talks about it, it's in the video. Mike here? Yes.
It's the whole damn family.
So you can see that bust right there. So do you want to speak about what's going on? Okay. Thank you, Mike.
So I think everybody's seen this face at the base of the ski area for a while. My dad is Jack Finney. This is my brother and sister, our dad, front sculpturist, and he created a bust. I don't know if there's another one, but our family, my mom and dad, both passed, and we're going to put this with the TRED of Pioneers Museum for right now. Hopefully, at the point we can get it in the Colorado Ski Hall of Fame Museum again, but we just felt it important to be in the public forever. And my dad and mom were great friends of Billy. He probably tell more than I can.
Well, thank you. That is such an honor. Now, some of you may have seen that bronze
And I can talk about her. So just a quick note of where this is going to go. I'm sure most of you have been to the top of the gondola. The second floor is an Olympian tribute display where we honor all of our history makers and other folks from Steamboat who have done so well in athletics and are Olympians. And we'll be able to place this in that case. So you'll be at the bottom of the gondola and you'll be at the top of the gondola.
For taking on this beautiful fest. So there's been a lot of talk about this Sports Illustrated issue. We got some porn, Billy. So we did this exact same event in Vail, and on a whim I thought, oh, I'll get a hold of these Sports Illustrated, and we'll auction them off. And I'm not an auctioneer, and we have two Sports Illustrateds from 1968 that have Jimmie and Billy on them, and Billy will sign it for you. So we are going to auction this one off. The first one, the proceeds will go to the Tread of Pioneers Museum. And so we're gonna, can you need a little auctioneer help, maybe? And I'd like to give a big round of applause for our staff, Ashley and Ron Reedy, who are here tonight. So we're gonna try this, and this is for your local museum. This is for the Tread of Pioneers Museum, who was so gracious to partner with us and help us produce this event tonight. So we'll start it off pretty low. We'll start it off at $20, but $20. I'm not an auctioneer again. Here we go. We got 20 over here. How about 40? Anyone want to give us 40? How about 60? 60? 80? Come on, 80, 80, 80. $80 right over here, Chris Anthony. Come on. 100. We will, is that 100? Should we end it? Should we keep going? What do we want to do? Oh, look, there's some few in the back. 200 in the back. Thank you. Anyone want 200? 250 for the Tread of Pioneers Museum. 300 in the back. Well, thank you. 300? 300. 300 going once? 300 going twice? Sold to the gentleman in the back for $300 for the Tread of Pioneers. Thank you very much. And then Billy will sign that for you. And then we do have another one if we'd like to do a second one. And this one will go to the Colorado Snowsports Museum today. And again, thank you to the Tread of Pioneers and to Steamboat Resort for hosting us and helping us get this. And also Hallison Hill and the city of Steamboat for renting out. This facility is incredible. Like, you can just feel the history. I feel like we should all go out and drink the water in Steamboat. So let's start this one off for the Colorado Snowsports Museum at $20. $20? Chris Anthony, $20. Come on, anyone else? I know you're all dying to give the Colorado Snowsports Museum. Our mission, Greg's gonna help me.
We can't have one person pay $300 and the next person pay $200. 20.
Oh, there we go.
So I'll bid 250 and we'll see if we can get it up another.
Oh, perfect. Thank you, Greg.
300?
300 over here.
Okay, we got a deal.
All right.
Do
we have another one? Yep, then they both went for 300.
But you want more?
Oh, I'm just saying, let's feel the energy.
Are we good? Are we good? Are we good? Are we ready to go get a beer?
You know what I mean? It's a cool piece of history. Good.
All right. Well, I guess it's sold to Chris Anthony, which is amazing.
Thank you for joining us for a special evening, and thank you for welcoming us into this majestic room. And congratulations to all of Steamboat for not only producing great racers, but bringing great racers to your hometown to be a symbol of all that's good about ski sport. It's been a wonderful evening. Thank you very much.